there is the reason. We have King Charles III and Queen Camilla in the imperial state crown and Queen Mary's crown, waving to the thousands of people who are thronging the Mall, who have braved the rain and are here to witness an historic moment. And we see there the pages, who, I have to say, did behave very well, getting a moment that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. And also, Queen Camilla is joined by the two ladies in attendance who helped her with her train and doubtless steadied the nerves too this morning as she was getting ready. A wave to the crowd, and the crowd waves back. Robert Hardman, I believe, as a very young prince, was it age just 2 that Charles made his first balcony appearance?
Yep, it was 1951, and he was 2, and he came out. They normally wait till you're sort of 2 or 3. The Queen came out as a babe in arms, but there we are. This is the rest of the family joining them now. The working family. It's quite interesting that we're seeing there all those who still undertake engagements, regular engagements, and their children. But I mean, this is such an important moment because this is the first time he has led the family out as king. He's been on that balcony, as you say, Kirsty, since he was tiny. He can just about remember the coronation balcony moment, and ever since then he's been seeing these scenes. But you know, he's leading them today. He's the one they're here to see.
He does look relaxed. He's taking it all in, and it must be quite a scene to be on the receiving end of. And when you say working members, I mean, obviously we've got children there, we've got the pages today, some of them better known faces than others. Take people through the working members of the royal family.
The working members, they're the ones who appear each day in what we call the court circular. There we see the new Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh there, Prince and Princess of Wales there. Then the pages, the King's pages, the Queen and her pages there to her left. But this is sort of, in a way, recognising those whose day-to-day job is supporting the monarchy. They are, you know, the King's eldest son, the Prince and Princess of Wales, and Princess Anne, of course, the Princess Royal, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. And also it's nice to see there the elder cousins. There's the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, Princess Alexandra, the Duke of Kent. They still play a part in this sort of broader royal frontline unit, if you like. You know, they may not make the headlines every day, but they're still there. They've got their patronages, and the King feels a great debt of gratitude to them. So on a day like today, he's saluting them. What we haven't got here is all the extended cousins and cousins of cousins and that sort of thing that we used to see at perhaps a birthday parade. I think underlying the messaging here is, you know, today's a day about the monarchy rather than about me, myself.
Yes, very interesting point. And I suppose such a special day when those youngsters have been involved. You want to say a sort of thank you.
Oh yeah, they've been working today.
There's a deal of pressure on those youngsters to go out there and behave well. Also very interesting to see, well, there we are, a wave from 2 very popular people. Not in a wheelbarrow around the garden today, something altogether different. And here we see, John, the helicopters coming in.
Yes.
Through the clouds, through the rain, they've made it.
Exactly, they've battled through. So this is the first of 5 formations of helicopters we'll have ahead of the Red Arrows. And what you're seeing is a formation, the first ones were a formation of 3 Juno helicopters, so training helicopters from No. 1 Flying Training School. And interestingly, on the second of those helicopters is Squadron Leader Rich Allinson, who was actually one of Prince William's flying instructors when he was going through his helicopter training. So there's a nice royal connection there.
And also interesting that the helicopters can fly lower, so that's one of the reasons it's safe for them.
They can, and they have slightly different rules when it comes to cloud base and how close to the weather they can get because of their slower speed.
Right, and even though it's very rainy then, it's not too dangerous for them today?
It's within the safety limits. It's right on the edge, which is why unfortunately we couldn't get the other aircraft, but absolutely within limits for the helicopters and for the Red Arrows.
And so they're coming right overhead.
Hear them now.
Right over the palace. Everybody looks up. And
so at the
King
top
himself,
of the screen.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, so the top of the screen there was the army formation, so a Wildcat and 2 of the AH-64s. So they're coming over now. So we've got formations initially from the Navy, then the Army, then the Royal Marines, and then finally the Royal Air Force.
And the King and the Prince of Wales both looking up there and understanding both as helicopter pilots. That's interesting.
It is.
They know what it takes.
Well, we've got the first monarch who can fly a helicopter. He was in his naval days. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was actually a very good Wessex helicopter
Indeed,
pilot,
yes.
the top of his class. So he knows what's going through their minds. And of course, the Prince of Wales has flown many helicopters. So there's a lot of expertise up there. If they're flying the wrong way, I'm sure they won't just hear about it from their immediate bosses.
Now you see, everybody else is tilting their heads up, apart from the King and Queen. But of course, they've got something to be mindful of. So it's just eyes up for them.
An occupational hazard of the head that wears the crown is you can't look down, as the Queen used to say. You've got to read your speech looking straight ahead.
So they're making a fair sound. We can see the windows of the palace there even having a little shudder as those helicopters went past. And one of the things that I certainly wondered today is, how would the crowds be? Would it be a huge crowd? And we have a very definite answer, Robert Hardman, in that.
Yeah, we do. I mean, the crowds aren't as big as they possibly could be because of the new sort of the system they have for sealing off the processional area. You haven't got as many people in the immediate area, but here's the big moment.
Yes, here's the big moment. Here's the main event.
Absolutely. So the Red Arrows, because they are a professional display team, they can work to greater weather limits than the other aircraft who have unfortunately been unable to join us. So we do get a chance to see the iconic Red Arrows in their red, white and blue as they come down the Mall, which just looks fantastic.
What a scene.
They're currently in their 59th season. They've got another 60 displays to do this year.
And where are those displays? Are they all over the world, or do they tend to be in the British Isles?
So the majority in the British Isles, but they do go all over the world.
And this is the moment. Well, that was a wonderful moment, an iconic moment, and it would have been a great shame if the weather had put stop to what really is a sort of seal on the day, I think, John, don't you? That sort of visual spectacle of something that we've come to know and be in awe of, and also be very fond of, that spectacle of the Red Arrows.
Absolutely.
The armed forces giving a round of applause.